Okay. We'll go 1, 2, 1, 2. And for those of you who haven't, who don't know kind of what I'm doing, I'm in the material editor right now, and we're setting up a landscape material. And basically what I've done is I've given it 2 layers. So these are layer weights. If you go into here and type in landscape layer weight, it pulls these up. There are other things, like you can use a landscape layer blend, which does pretty much the same thing, just in a slightly different way. I prefer layer weights. This is just, it's how I learned how to do it, and since I'm not overly comfortable with materials, this is how I do things because it's the easiest for me to remember. So if you do things different, kudos to you. Mad respect if you can figure this stuff out at all. I am not that guy. I'm working on it. It's one of many things that I'm working on. And I'm going to make this a little more interesting than I usually do. Change the roughness and the specular and the metallic a little bit so it's not quite as glossy when we look at it. I don't want to mess with, I'm not messing with offset or displacement. That stuff, I've found tessellation to be more trouble than it's worth when it comes to landscapes. I don't know why. For the longest time you could not do it at all. Okay, so this is going to be our landscape material. And then I need to make a landscape hole material. And okay, so if I'm understanding you correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong, TK4. You have a second material, and in here I'm assuming all you have is the landscape hole. We'll go with yes, landscape visibility mask. If I'm understanding you correctly. If not, yeah, this is a lesson in futility. Okay, so landscape material, come into paint, weight blended layer, boom, weight blended layer. Now you have to do that when using weight blended layers. You pretty much have to do that whenever using layers, period. Then we're going to come in and go, oh yeah, there's a bunch of grass on my landscape. It looks marvelous. Then I'm going to come in here and go, oh, now there's going to be giant. I will get to that in a minute, TK4, because that's similar to what I do. I technically do it a completely different way that was originally a workaround, but I feel like it works really well. So I kind of just do it because I got used to it and feel like I prefer that way. So, okay, now sculpt visibility. Okay, so this should create a hole. Now the question is it going to do what I think it's going to do and make just this entire square black? I'm pretty sure that's exactly what's going to happen once the shaders compile. Oh, okay. If we can't get it figured out, then I'll check the email later. Okay, that's exactly what I thought would happen. And then if we hit that, it sets it back. Okay, so is that kind of what you're seeing? So right here, we've got the black material with the hole. And then if you come into select this, and then if you hit reset to default, it returns back to the gray square. Is that kind of what you're seeing? That's much more interesting. So, returning to the gray square I expected. And the reason is because you had material data on here, and what it's doing is the landscape hole material actually overwrites the regular landscape material for this, which is why they suggest to basically make it the same. You give it all the same textures and all, and then you just add the whole mask. And so what I like to do is instead of making an entirely new material, I'll just come into here and make my mask and then just use this in both the material and the whole material. It's not technically the right way to do it, but it works. What is interesting, and why I am going to request that you do put this on the Answer Hub, and I will look at it tomorrow, is now that I have deleted this, so there is no material here, I can't paint on this. There is no data coming through. Let me try. Okay, so I'm going to move this here. Aha! So it looks like what the problem is, and what is definitely a bug, is when this material is removed, so we remove it, this square is still registering the whole material. So it's holding on to that data and saying, okay, well, there's nothing here, so screw it, there's nothing there, and not picking up the landscape material again. That's something I'm going to have to actually make a bug report for. So if you could make an Answer Hub post and just mention in there that I will that I recommended you do that, and I'll get assigned to it tomorrow, and I'll take a look. I'll try to reproduce it on my end at work and see if it's possibly fixed in 4.8. I don't think it will be, because that's a new one. I've never seen that happen before. That's interesting. But yeah. I'll definitely take a look at it, and we will get that figured out. I'm in constant contact with the guys who do the landscapes and stuff like that, but this looks more like a rendering issue. But maybe Jack Porter is in charge of it, and I'll talk to him. But I'll talk to them about that and see what's going on and how quickly we could get a fix in for that, because that's a problem. Granted, the workaround, if you take your original material and just put it in your landscape hole material, that will be the workaround for now. It allows you to paint on it without problems, so you can come in here and go, whee! So there you go. Landscape issue solved. Kind of. Not actually solved. Reported. Yeah. I won't be able to make holes now? Okay. So, in the case of this, what I would do is go into your regular landscape material, because you have to have that visibility mask. So what you do is you just make this masked and then add it in. Basically, you have to have this in whatever material that you use in the whole material. So even if you're using just a holding material while you're trying to get stuff figured out, make sure you have this node in particular. Once this stops doing the stupid... Oh, don't crash on me. Don't crash. Okay, it's good. It's good. Compile shaders. Okay, there we go. So now I have my primary material in both the landscape and the landscape hole. And Oh. Oh. What the hell? TK4, what'd you do to my landscapes? I'm just kidding. Okay, that just got a whole new level of interesting. There's landscape visibility mask, inopacity mask, it is masked. That, wow, okay, okay. I'm picking up, bruh, what happened? Dude, it broke. Okay, yeah, that is another bug. So that is two separate bugs, definitely not the same thing. But, wow. I am, not sure. Yeah, okay, so, if you'll make an answer hub, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at that. Because, that is problematic. That, like, this is almost, like, I would almost say this is definitely a blocker. This is something that needs to be looked at. Because I am clicking the shit out of my mouse and nothing is happening. However, you can still paint. You just can't paint holes. So, you can do like a quarter of the equation that you need to do. Unless, okay, let me, I'm gonna try something here. Recreate landscape collision. Excuse me. Okay. Let me do a new landscape. I'm gonna delete this one here in just a second, but okay, has that landscape material. Okay, so landscape 1, we're going to use the visibility tool. So what I'm going to see, okay, so that at least is kind of working. Oh god. Okay, there we go. Dynamic lighting for the win. Oh, TK4, sir, you are just... Oh, you tease me with all of these delicious bugs. It's amazing. And now I can paint... What the hell? That is awesome. That is an awesome bug. That's fun. Oh. By the way, something fun to do to mess with people? I'm a terrible artist, especially with landscapes. Yes. Landscape just became the new paint, everybody. Whee! And yes, I have done this at work. I got mad during a bug, and I started